We're in that period of the NBA offseason where things are going to start feeling like a chain reaction. You have teams that are waiting and seeing moves. You're going to get a big move made and a lot of other moves that starts making. And one of the teams that you look at that has to make some painful decisions this offseason is the Denver Nuggets. They have to make a painful money move and decide on that. And reportedly, they're getting interest on one player while they actually want to move another. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Plus, there keeps being reports, namely from Bill Simmons, that the Celtics are somehow staying around this Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes. And if they truly are making Jaylen Brown available, it could be what swings that whole trade market for Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Lakers are trying to keep Austin Reaves while figuring out how aggressive they can still be after making that move. And after the NBA Finals collapse, everybody's questioning and wondering, what are the Spurs going to do with De'Aaron Fox? This is where NBA team building gets very uncomfortable for some teams. They have to ask difficult questions, and we're going to talk about them all today, right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, my basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball and NBA related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, hey, before we get into it, I want to make sure everybody hit that subscribe button. We have a goal of getting to 10,000 subscribers by the start of the 2026-27 NBA season, and we can only do that with you guys. There's about 62% of you guys that watch the channel every single day that have not hit that subscribe button yet. It's free. Hit that subscribe button. In exchange for that, I'll be giving you some of the best daily content on the NBA. We'll catch you up on the news, rumors, everything going on. And with the NBA draft and free agency being right around the corner for the NBA, it's about to be a very exciting time in this channel with a lot of news coming to you guys fast. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today. I want to start off with a team that we have not talked a lot about since we did their 2026 offseason outlook after they got eliminated from the finals, and that's the Denver Nuggets. Now, we know that the Denver Nuggets sit in a place where they want to keep Peyton Watson on their team, and it means that they're going to have to make a cost-cutting move, if not several cost-cutting moves when it comes down to it. According to Mark Stein, the Denver Nuggets are looking to move off salary in order to create and re-sign Peyton Watson, which we know. The player Denver is receiving the most interest in is veteran forward Aaron Gordon. The Nuggets, however, would prefer to trade Christian Braun. Now, this is not shocking, right? Aaron Gordon on the Denver Nuggets has turned himself into one of the best role players in the NBA. And so the conversation that we're going to have here is why the Denver Nuggets should not trade Aaron Gordon and why they may not have no choice. We're going to talk about both sides of that argument. If you're new to this channel, that's how we attack the conversation. We go on both sides of any conversation because it keeps me honest as a solo content creator. It keeps the conversation more layered and fluid. So the side that they should not trade Aaron Gordon is one of the things that I just said. Aaron Gordon is one of the best role players in the NBA, and he has shown himself to be a proven fit with Nikola Jokic, which the Denver Nuggets value. Aaron Gordon and Jokic have turned themselves into a really good front court. Aaron Gordon knows how to fill in and even knows when Jokic is off the court how to still play as well. His defense, his cutting, his toughness, and the playoff experience that he brought is almost irreplaceable for this Denver Nuggets team. Trading Aaron Gordon could make the Denver Nuggets cheaper, but not better in the long run, right? And I get it. Peyton Watson and them missing Peyton Watson in the playoffs, it stood out, but you could create another problem if you move off of Aaron Gordon to keep Peyton Watson. If Denver still sees itself as a team that wants to try to contend for a title now, which they should, that's the whole point of this, I do think moving off a proven piece like Aaron Gordon could get very costly for them both on and off the court. Now, Christian Brown, smaller moves are going to make sense if the goal is flexibility. So Christian Brown, players like Cam Johnson, you move off those players, it makes more sense without you moving off such an important piece of your core in Aaron Gordon. But let's talk about the other side of this. The Denver Nuggets may just not have a choice when it comes to moving Aaron Gordon, right? They're facing the second tax apron. The pressure on that is real. And if they really want to create that room to re-sign Peyton Watson, you can only take the deals that are in front of you, right? And Gordon's salary is large enough to where it creates that space and separation that they need and value to be able to keep Peyton Watson. And let's say this, Cam Johnson, who they should be looking to move, did look stronger in the playoffs, but there's still some big concerns there, right? Aaron Gordon's making $31 million this upcoming year, $34 million the year after that, $37 million the year after that with the player option. And this is a player that a team that is $10 million over the second tax apron and only $2 million beneath the second tax apron. So that tightrope that they have to walk is very, very tight. And so sometimes you have to make moves that you don't necessarily want to, and that's what it comes down to. If teams are valuing Aaron Gordon more than Christian Brown, Denver may get a better return, which actually could, depending on the return, factor better into that. Now, Brown's extension also makes it a difficult move to see teams to get a contract that's that rich with a player that really disappointed at times last season, even though the statistical production looked pretty solid, right? So with that, the Denver Nuggets are going to have to decide how much of their old championship core that they have to keep and try to reshape still around Jokic and what they have there. The Denver Nuggets aren't just deciding between who to trade. They're also deciding if they still believe that this version of the roster can still win another title. And that's a more difficult question that they have to find the answer to. So let me know what you guys think on that with the Denver Nuggets. Hearing that, do you think they end up moving Aaron Gordon? Do you think they find a way to keep Aaron Gordon, keep Peyton Watson, and which I think is the best path for that team? Let me know that down below. Next topic. The Jaylen Brown and Boston Celtics and Giannis Antetokounmpo rumors just keep popping up, namely from Bill Simmons. Now, it hasn't been all Bill Simmons. We did hear that Boston is one of the teams that Giannis would consider signing an extension with if traded to. So the question becomes about this one is, should Boston seriously pursue Giannis Antetokounmpo if it costs them Jaylen Brown and draft capital, which it would cost both, right? The side of this of yes, and this is the side that I'm against, but let's say the side of yes, that go after Giannis is because Giannis next to Jason Tatum will create a physically dominant duo in the NBA, right? And it changes the style of play that you've had. And maybe that's what the Boston Celtics want. Maybe it's not just about keeping the title window open. It's also about changing to what they may feel is a more sustainable version of basketball. The Boston Celtics are heavy threes, right? They maximize that three-point window and they take the margins away from other teams. That's what they do. Boston would add rim pressure. They would add really solid defense, rebounding, and better performance in transition with Giannis Antetokounmpo. If Giannis is truly ready to and willing to commit long-term to Boston, I do think them exploring it makes some sense there. The Celtics have assets to make an offer, and Jaylen Brown would be probably the best player offered in a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade. Now, the rumors are that you find a third team because Milwaukee may want to reroute Jaylen Brown to another team and gain even more picks back and just stack the deck, try to do what we've seen like OKC Thunder do. And, Jaylen Brown could get them that done as well or give them the first solid piece of their rebuild. But the side of this of no, and the side that I err more on, is that Jaylen Brown just had one of the best years of his career. A season in which he showed that he can lead that team with Jason Tatum off of it and kind of makeshift pieces around it. They didn't just lose Jason Tatum. They lose Tatum. They lost Drew Holiday. They lost Kristaps Porzingis. They lost a lot of that team, and he was still able to help keep that together. Giannis also comes with a massive contract, that extension that's going to come, and you have to build you don't have the front court rim protection that you need next to Giannis Antetokounmpo. So moving Brown could weaken Boston's spacing and perimeter creation, even though it would create another strength with Giannis and the strengths that he would bring to that team. The Celtics now need to also helping Milwaukee with the reset while taking on a major risk for their team. Like, yeah, you keep a championship window open, but is the length of that window a little bit shorter? This is the kind of rumor that, like I said before, it sounds crazy that to question it if Boston should want Giannis. But I'll tell you this, how far is Brad Stevens really ready to go with this roster? That's the ultimate question here, and we'll see. All right, moving on. The Los Angeles Lakers reportedly are prepared to offer Austin Reaves a max contract extension so that no other team can even get involved in the conversation. And that makes sense, right? We know that he has that $14.9 million player option. He's going to decline that to become an unrestricted free agent. And now, according to Mark Stein, recent reports have surfaced that Brooklyn Nets, one of the teams expected to have cap space this offseason, are likely to make a run at Reaves. Despite the fact that Reaves is unrestricted and the Lakers can't officially match offers, Reaves' camp is likely to give Los Angeles a chance to match or beat any offers he receives. So the Los Angeles Lakers reach an agreement with Reaves on a new contract. They'll delay signing him to complete their other offseason moves. If the Los Angeles goes cap space route, they could create nearly $50 million in cap space. They use that cap room first while retaining Reaves' cap hold and Bird's right, then re-sign the combo guard to his new deal. So it seems like what's happening here now is the Lakers are playing the odds, right? Basically saying, hey, we already know we're going to give Austin Reaves the max, but we're going to delay the official signing so that way we can use our cap space and then re-sign Austin Reaves with bird rights, which allows us to go over the cap to re-sign him. That's just smart basketball business, right? And when you look at the reasons to re-sign Austin Reaves, he's one of the most reliable offensive connectors that they have. He built a legitimate chemistry with Luka Doncic, which is what you're trying to build off of with this team going forward, is you want pieces that fit around Luka. Austin Reaves has already shown himself to be able to fit with Luka, so that's what it comes down to it. And letting him walk would create another hole that Los Angeles just isn't prepared to replace when it comes down to it. So with continuity matter, especially with the Lakers trying to win now as soon as possible with this window with Luka, they're going to keep Austin Reaves, and they should keep Austin Reaves, right? But let's talk about be careful with the price, because I'm not even talking about the chance that they don't re-sign him. Austin Reaves is going back to the Los Angeles Lakers. He's valuable, but we've seen it before. Overpaying on role players ends up hurting you long-term with your cap flexibility. But the question is how much do you think what Austin Reaves showed last year and averaging over 20 points per game, is he going to be able to maintain talent? As long as you're able to add a center and some defensive pieces around that team, it's worth it, right? Like, I get it. You don't want to sign a good player on a bad contract, right? Which becomes a bad contract. But I don't think that this Austin Reaves, like every contract has a chance of turning into a bad contract. I want to be clear there. But I think the runway there for the Lakers is pretty clear that they should be fine in this one. The Lakers love Austin Reaves. And this offseason has to be about what they like, but also what they're trying to build, right? You have to be smart on it. But I think there's no way in which letting Austin Reaves just walks helps you build a legitimate contender around Luka when you want to do it as right now. And that's just the reality of it, and that's why they're going to keep Austin Reaves on that team. All right, last topic of the day, and this is a hot button topic that I think it being a little bit overblown. I did the Spurs episode yesterday in regards to the offseason outlook for the San Antonio Spurs. Shout out to the Spurs fans that came out to that commented on their thoughts on De'Aaron Fox and what it means for this team. And I do like that a lot of the Spurs fans that commented on the video were like, hey, listen, let's calm down. We're still a very young roster. It feels like there's a lot of overreaction to a bad series that happened in the finals. And I like the level-headedness, because sometimes fans can be the ones that get the most kind of outrageous, right? But here's the thing. There is a question that they have to ask with De'Aaron Fox. And I think, and like I said on yesterday's episode, is that the Spurs were exposed in the half court a little bit, right? And the inconsistent perimeter shooting, it did allow the defenses to crowd Wemby, right? And that's just there. And you have Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle, who look like they're going to be the backcourt of the future. So this is a little bit of it's not the same as the Chet situation, right? Like, people made a lot of the Chet with the bad series. It's not the same because the Spurs do they do have their backcourt of the future in Harper and Castle that they can start building with. Wemby needs shooting. He needs spacing. He needs quick decision maker. And when it comes down to that, right? But the thing that's popped up as a rumor here recently is that the Spurs could trade with the the Miami Heat for Tyler Herro. And does Tyler Herro fit what they're trying to do? And the presented deal that came out here is that the Spurs will get Tyler Herro, 2 future conditional first-round picks, and an additional pick swap, whereas the Heat will receive De'Aaron Fox, 3 future conditional first-round picks, and an additional pick swap as well. Here's the thing. Tyler Herro would provide some spacing. He would provide some shooting. We already know that he's worked in several different types of backcourts as well, between Davion Mitchell and Norman Powell. Like, he's worked in a lot of different things like that. Herro does have more perimeter gravity than De'Aaron Fox, right? So there's that part of it. And so the question isn't just about, like, if this is available. And I do think the Miami Heat are probably going to more so look to keep Tyler Herro on, and so they can try to make a pursuit for Giannis or Ja Morant, which we've heard that they can pivot to if they don't get Giannis. But outside of that, I do think the Miami Heat are open for business on Tyler Herro. It just comes down to, does this make sense for the San Antonio Spurs to make a shot on Tyler Herro right now? And I do think trading Fox could be a bit of an overreaction, but Tyler Herro does theoretically fit as well in a way, right? The question isn't about, is De'Aaron Fox good? Because he is good. The question is about building the right kind of pieces and the right kind of roster around Wemby, and that's the more difficult question to ask, and that's what they're trying to find the answer to in regards to this one. So we'll see, right? I'll say this, and the question that I want to ask to my Spurs fans, especially if they show out on this one again, is Tyler Herro, do you see him as being more of a traditional fit? And is Harper and Castle ready to step up into that role that De'Aaron Fox fit? And that's basically the question that you have to ask in regards to this one. Like, we'll see, right? And chasing a better fit is never really a bad thing as long as it works out, because it better work. Because if it doesn't, the people are going to be looking at, why'd you do that move when you did it? But that's going to do it for today's episode, man. I'm probably going to have another episode later on today doing the offseason outlook for the New York Knicks. So stay tuned for that one. But otherwise, I want to hear from you guys in this one. How do you feel about all the topics? What do you think Denver's going to do to continue to keep that championship window open around Jokic? Should they move off of Aaron Gordon, or should they hold off on that? Or do you think that their owner should just be like, hey, let's just pay the tax? Like, it's okay. Let me know what you guys think on that part down below. What do you think the Lakers do with Austin Reaves as well? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel as well, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. You can follow us at NBA Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-2 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything NBA and basketball related. And I'll catch you guys the next time I feel like making an episode. Probably tomorrow. Peace.
Been a presentation of the Break Media.